Rosten reviews.
Perfect. Hello, friends, and welcome back to another... Oh, wait. There we go. Hello, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Rosten's Reviews. I am Mr. Rosten, the Cluster 6-1 Social Studies teacher at BMS, and I am glad that you are here to review with us what we did in social studies this week. But this is a special episode because not only are we reviewing what we did in class this week, but we are also doing what we did in class last week because we had a short week. It was Thanksgiving break, so I didn't do a Rosten's Reviews. But today is a new day, and it is a new episode of Rosten's Review, so we are going to start off with week 12 this week. So let's take a look at what we did the past 2 weeks in social studies. So you'll notice here that we did 4 things this week in social studies. All right, we did the Curse of the Ice Mummy, the Otzi death reveal, the Mesopotamian introduction, and finally, Mesopotamian vocabulary. So let's first take a look at the Curse of the Ice Mummy. All right, so we read a secondary source and tried to determine whether or not the Ice Mummy, Otzi, is cursed. There have been some weird things that have been happening to Otzi. So we wanted to make sure and investigate whether or not Otzi is cursed. So we read the Curse of the Ice Mummy. We learned about Rainer Henn, who was one of the early scientists to work on him and how he unfortunately passed away in a catastrophic car wreck. We learned about Kurt Fritz and how he died in a freak avalanche and how he is the only one of the people who worked with Otzi who actually died by snow and ice. A little bit weird, I know. We talked about Rainer Holtz and how he was a documentarian and filmed Otzi being removed, and he died of a sudden brain tumor. We read about Helmut Simon, the man who discovered Otzi with his wife, Erica Simon. Remember from the video, the intro video? Great job, Mrs. Classy, Mrs. Donovan, by the way. Big shouts to you on your acting on that one. All right, and how he had fallen off a mountain. Not good. All right, all this crazy things have been happening, and we tried to figure out whether or not, and some of you believed that Otzi is cursed, and some of you didn't. And that's the great thing about history, is that you can make your own historical interpretation. So, from the Curse of the Ice Mummy, what did we learn? There was some weird deaths from people, or not from people, of people. People who worked with Otzi. Is there enough evidence? I don't know. Conspiracy theory Mr. Rosten thinks so. Sensible Mr. Rosten just thinks it's, a bunch of coincidence. But that's up to you to decide as a historian. All right? Next, we learned about how Otzi the Iceman actually died. It was fantastic. Mrs. Classy and I brought our classes together. We live streamed on Google Meet. We had a bunch of you show up, so big shouts to all of you who actually decided to do the reveal with us instead of just being boring and watching the Ed puzzle all by yourself, alone, which is, kind of sad. But big shouts to y'all who decided to watch the live stream. And we finally learned how Otzi died. And so, Otzi was assassinated. So, big shouts to you who actually figured that one out. We know that he knew the person who shot him in the back with the arrow. We also know that he ran up the mountain after being shot. And then we learned how it snowed soon after his death, which preserved his body, which on that fateful September 19th, 1991, when Erica and Helmut Simon decided to do a little adventuring up in the Alps, and they found Otzi intact. So, Otzi the Iceman, death by assassination. What are you going to do? I'm sorry I couldn't tell you. I've known literally the whole time. And, I would have loved to tell you, but that would have taken the fun out of all the historical investigation. Okay? All right. Number 3, Mesopotamian introduction. So, we decided to do our introduction a little bit differently this year. Why? Well, as you all know, we are in distance learning, and so that calls for some changes to the way we do things like our introductions. Now, normally, Mrs. Donovan, Mrs. Classy, and I bring you all down to the auditorium. We do a big screen movie clips and do I Notice, I Wonder charts, and we do artifact analysis. But this year, no. We decided to use the tools that were available to us. So, what did we do? We gave you guys an Ed puzzle. I think, right? It was an Ed puzzle. Pretty sure it was an Ed puzzle. Let me double check. But I'm pretty sure that was an Ed puzzle. It was an Ed puzzle. No, it definitely was. Because Dr. Thomas came and observed me. Alright? So, Mesopotamia introduction. What did we learn from the Mesopotamian introduction Ed puzzle? A lot of things. I hope you learned a lot of things. According to your jam boards, you learned a bunch of different stuff. So that was good. You learned about, I don't know, the Tigris and Euphrates River. You learned about the Sumerians, the Babylonians. Maybe you heard a mention of a guy named Hammurabi. I think I spelled that wrong. Oh well. Y'all know I can't spell. Alright? So, you hopefully got an idea of what Mesopotamia was all about. Oh, and the big thing, I forgot this one. The Fertile Crescent. That's right, the Fertile Crescent. Right? The Fertile Crescent was around the two rivers. Nice green light. Alright. So, we looked at the Fertile Crescent, and then Thursday and Friday of this week, we did vocabulary, right? So, the first thing we needed to do is we needed to find our digital vocabulary notebooks. Right? So we had to go into Google Drive, we had to search for digital vocabulary notebook, and then we had to make sure that we attached it to our assignment. So I went through it with each class. Hopefully you all will remember to do that before Monday or Tuesday, and I'm sure that we will review it again. Okay? So we found our digital notebooks. We have 10 new words. Right? 10 new words. like city-state, polytheism, monotheism. I don't really remember all the rest. I'm sorry. I apologize. But there's a bunch of 10 new words, all right? You wrote down key terms or phrases to help you remember the definitions, and then you put them into your digital notebook using the Frayer Foursquare model, right? Say, yes, Mr. Rosten, that's what we did. Okay, so here, I'll even show you a quick Frayer Foursquare if you just give me a moment. Here, hold on. My apologies for not being prepared. This was a little bit rushed. I'm sorry. Hashtag I'm not sorry. All right. Technology. It's working. So what's going on in the chat? Doesn't look like there's a lot going on in there. I see some of my former students. Hello, former students. I miss you all. I see some of my current students. Hello, friends. And my iPad has decided to stop working, which is fantastic. Oh, there we go. Bada bing. Still working. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Instruction. Boom. All right. So this is what your Frayer Foursquare should look like. Oh, and baseball players in here. Oh, boy. There's a lot of people here. I feel so loved. Shouldn't you guys be like, aren't you like a senior now? Shouldn't you be like, I don't know, studying civics? Maybe? Is that what they do? Anyway, back on task. All right, so this is our Frayer Foursquare, right? On the top left, let's start right in the middle. In the middle, we have our key term. On the top left, we have our definition. On the bottom left, we use the word in the sentence, and we actually use the word in the sentence. We don't, Geez, you're a senior already? That's crazy. I feel old. Sorry. We use the word in a sentence. All right? Sorry, I have to remove some of these because, yeah. All right. So, we use the word in a sentence, right? We don't just use the definition. So, like, for example, in our locate here, I tried to locate my digital vocabulary notebook by searching in Google Drive. You actually have to use the word in Google Drive. All right, on the top right, we have find a picture of the term. So you searched Google Images and found pictures of our terms. And then on the bottom, we did similar words or phrases. All right, so that is what we did in social studies. Come on, this week. See, use Foursquare in digital notebook. All right, friends. That's it. That's what we did in social studies this week and last week. It was a crazy week. All right, we did some big things. We learned how Otzi died. Finally, we introduced you to Mesopotamia. That was cool. We did vocabulary, which was even better. And I would make sure that you try your best on, hello, what's up, on these vocabulary words, because I can neither confirm or deny that there's going to be a vocabulary quiz on Thursday and Friday. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you know what I'm saying. Okay? So, I would make sure that we are doing our best on our vocabulary. Making sure to take our time and making sure that it is done correctly. Okay? All right. So that's what we did in social studies the past 2 weeks. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving filled with turkey and mac and cheese And no mashed potatoes because, as we all know, it is the most overrated side dish in Thanksgiving history. They didn't even serve mashed potatoes at the first Thanksgiving. So let's all be part of the movement to get rid of potatoes at Thanksgiving. Substitute with mac and cheese. Maybe a nice, roasted broccoli. No, I am not saying that. Anyway, that's it. So, some reminders. Your digital vocabulary notebooks are due. Red, orange, yellow, Monday. Blue, green, Tuesday. Okay? Thursday, Friday, we are having... I'm not going to say definitely, but we are strongly considering a vocabulary quiz on Thursday, Friday, so make sure you take your time and you do what you need to do. All right? Anyway, that's all I got. That's it. I hope you all have a great weekend. Take some time to recharge the batteries. Do something fun, Have a good read. Go ride your bike. Play outside. Do whatever it is you do to relax when you're not in school. All right? Be kind to one another. Peace be with you and with you. Rosten.